Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Gears 12 here, and I'm back with another review today. Today I'm reviewing Steve Harris's British Lion side project, solo project, whatever you want to call it. The track listing and the personnel who played on the record will be in the description because I want to jump off straight into this review, basically give my full, thoughts on this album and basically just talk about what I expected and everything else and in between. So, like I said, track listing and personnel is in the description if you want to know more. But here are my thoughts on the album. So when I first heard that Steve Harris, the bassist for Iron Maiden, if you don't know, was doing a side project, my first thought was, hey, pretty cool. Sounds neat. Sounds like something, that could be good. So I was expecting maybe a album that was kind of like Iron Maiden, but, just metal. I mean, something close to what Maiden is used to writing. That's what I was expecting. Then they came out with the title, British Lion. Cool. Like it. And then when I started hearing the full album and really processing what the album gives, my first thought was that the music on this album is completely different from Iron Maiden. Now, there are some moments on the flip side where I went, damn, I could see Maiden writing that, or something in that variation maybe. But about 90% of the music doesn't sound like Iron Maiden at all. So, this is why I guess Steve Harris wanted to do it. It's a side project. It's something different, because I remember seeing on the Newest Metal Hammer, which is a magazine if you don't know what that is, and on the top it said Steve Harris Review, and the line they used for the cover of the magazine said, Maiden wouldn't do this, or something along the variations of Iron Maiden would not do this. And he's right, because most of the music on this album Maiden wouldn't do, or Maiden wouldn't put that on the record, or they wouldn't write that way. Because a lot of stuff on this doesn't seem like metal. It seems kind of like hard rockish. I mean, there's some moments on the record I'm thinking it's like a punk type hard rock album. But on the flip side of that too, there are some metal moments, but not enough to really, I consider it a metal album. And back to the statement he said Maiden wouldn't do it, this makes sense because, I mean, he's been playing in Maiden because he's one of the original founders of Iron Maiden. So him doing this isn't really a surprise to me, but to a lot of Iron Maiden fans that really enjoy all the stuff Maiden's done, all the stuff that Iron Maiden's put out, they might not like this album. And also on top of the fact that this is a different type of thing for Steve Harris to do, is the fact that a lot of people have talked about this, and I have to agree with them because it was one key factor on this album that made me just think, oh boy, it could have been better. Maybe was the lead singer, what do you want to call him? The singer. He just, I don't know, something. He sounds like a mix between Dragon Force's lead singer, new and old one, and it sounds kind of like the Dream Theater vocalist. But the problem is, it's his voice that reminds me of Dream Theater's vocalist and the old and new Dragon Force vocalist. It sounds like it. Doesn't mean that he has the power to deliver. Because on most of this record, I'm sitting there going, he's trying too much. And then there's some moments on this record I'm going, he's not trying hard enough. His vocal style doesn't really fit the music at some moments. In the other moments, his vocal style and just the way his voice is doesn't fit with what they're trying to accomplish with this album. He feels like he's trying to sound like a great vocalist, and he's trying and he's attempting, but it's not coming through. That's just one big thing. That's a big thing a lot of people have talked about, but for me personally, I feel like the vocalist just made me think this album was not up to what it could have been. I think if they would have got a different vocalist and kept the same music style, because the music on this album, yes, it's different, but I like it, but it's different. It's not what you're used to. So if you're an Iron Maiden fan thinking this is the next Maiden record, or the next record that's going to sound like Iron Maiden, getting your hopes up for the next record, put that to rest, because that's not the case. This album's going to make you go, oh, Steve Harris. I mean, it's different. I like it. Or you might go, I don't like it because it's not like Iron Maiden. But for me personally, as a person who plays music and loves music and enjoys all types of music, basically, I will have to agree that this album is different, but I do like it. But the vocalist kept me back from really, really enjoying it. The music part of it was great. It was different, but the vocalist just kept me back. And the other thing is that it's something I'm not used to Steve Harris doing. I'm used to Steve Harris playing on a Maiden record that's fast-paced, that has a lot of melodic, harmonizing moments, a lot of just cool type metal stuff. But this album, kind of like a punky hard rock album. There are some moments of metal, but it's few and far between to the point where I'm just like, I don't know. But if I had to give a rating for this album, I would have to say maybe a 7.5, maybe even a low 7 on a bad day out of 10 for me personally. But, I mean, I don't like really rating albums that much, but I would have to say that would be my thought on what this album is, because yes, I do agree that it's different, and yes, I do accept that it is a different thing from what Iron Maiden's doing, and Steve Harris wanted to do it for himself, and I accept the fact that he did, and at some moments, I really did enjoy this record, but on other parts, it was just, that vocalist kept me back, and just some of the musical things in this album just kind of threw me off a bit, but I accept that it's different. It's not an Iron Maiden record. I accept it's not a record that's supposed to sound like Iron Maiden. It's a different concept, but I will have to say that it's just not something I'm going to be listening to constantly. It's not a type of musical style that I do listen to constantly. But like I said, my expectations for the album was that maybe it was going to sound like maybe a little bit Iron Maiden-ish, and at some moments, maybe. But most of the record, it's not. It's something completely different. And I don't want people to just jump into this record without even hearing it going, oh my god, I can't wait, Iron Maiden, I can't wait to hear some Iron Maiden stuff. And you're not. I mean, you might, but a lot of the times you're going to go, ugh. So there was one quote that I saw when I got redirected to the website that was hosting the Iron Maiden, the Steve Harris's British Lions, like streaming. They were playing the songs. You could click the track and listen to it. The top comment at the time when I was watching it, this guy quoted, and I have to say that I agree with this, is that Steve Harris, I love the music, but your vocalist sucks ass. And I will have to agree. I'll agree to like 90% of it, but I mean, his vocalist for this, this side project, this solo project deal, feels like he just tried too much, and just, I kept going back to the vocalist part of it, but I mean, that's just the key factor for me. So that is the review, guys. So it basically, just a review back real quick. So if you're a Maiden fan or a fan of metal, expecting to go into this thinking hearing some Iron Maiden type stuff, or some metal, some really actual metal like type Iron Maiden stuff, you're not going to get it. You might get some, but not a lot. You're just going to get a lot more like softer type stuff. It's just different. It's a different style. It's different. So expect that. And then to the other part of listening to the vocalist, you might like the vocalist, you might not like him. But for me personally, I don't like him. I don't like the way that he just did his vocals on this record. Just was different. I didn't enjoy it. So thank you guys for watching. And if you have heard the record streaming online, or you've already heard some of the tracks, comment down below and let me know what your favorite track is. For me personally, I can't really pick a favorite song, because mostly I'm just sitting there listening to that vocalist over and over and over again. But throughout the whole record, I really enjoyed all the music. I really enjoyed a lot of the type stuff, but it's different. It's not what I'm used to, and there was just that vocalist just kept me back from making it a full effort to really go, this album is great, because the vocalist just kept me back. So comment down below and let me know personally what your favorite track is and what you like or you don't like about this album. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys soon.